Coming up on the show today, could Meta be having its iPhone moment?
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Do you know what I've realised? I think that introduction's just a little bit too long because, there's a little bit of a gap there when I'm sort of trying to say my thing and then you just sit there looking like a complete idiot.
What else are we going to do? Hello, Stephen Scott. Feeling happy?
I am happy like a room without a roof, as the children used to say.
Did they? The youth, you mean? What, a few years ago?
Yeah, I don't want to know how old that song is because I bet I'll find out that it's like 20 years old or something. How are you? How's your weekend?
It was a beautiful Stephen Scott. I'll tell you what, you won't believe this. I've started going to the gym.
No. Bad idea. This is bad.
My back is in absolute agony. But yes, I've started. And can I just say this? Workout Buddy. It's beautiful. It's a game changer, my friend. I've got the cheapest, nastiest cross trainer in the world. You know, one of those you get from the catalogue shop for $40 or whatever it was.
This was pulled out of a skip.
Yes, pretty much. It's the cheapest one I could get, but it's fine, except completely, of course, inaccessible. Right? It's got those terrible touch-sensitive buttons on it, which you can't even feel at all, and it just beeps at you. It's just terrible. With the Workout Buddy on my Apple Watch, it just becomes, you know what? It tells me every 5 minutes, 5 minutes, keep going, you're doing great. I say thank you very much.
How patronising.
It tells me, it is very, yes. But it also tells me my heart rate, you know, you're in your zone, 130 BPM or whatever it may be. Now, admittedly, that's the only information I'm getting at the minute, but it is really cool. It does mean that I can keep track of how long I'm going for and I don't have to, check my phone or anything. It is actually very cool. Okay. I like it.
All right, I believe you. Although I will say, Shaun Preece, I remember the last time you started going to the gym. I want to play this little clip. This seems like the appropriate moment to remind you of your last trip to the gym. Let's listen to this.
To the gym. It's a bit of a commute. Listen to that.
It's lovely.
And we're in. Turn the power on. Oosh. And... Oh, me toe. Stop me toe. Oh, that's it. No, I'm out. No, forget it. No, me toe. I've got my flip-flops on. Right. Now, can I just say, right, there was nothing funny about that, Stephen Scott. This is very much a finger in an Uber moment.
Absolutely
so I don't know why you're laughing.
I find it equally as hilarious. Write in with your hate if you wish. I am sorry, I find that funny. Because only you. It could only happen to you.
No. Someone left weights on the floor. Who leaves weights on the floor in a gym? It's a disgrace.
I know. Where else would they be?
That's why I don't go to a public gym. My gym is in my garage, so for obvious reasons. We have actually cleaned it out. That's why I've started going in again. We totally rearranged it, and it's safe again.
It's a safe space now, is it?
Yes, that's fun. But no, honestly, that Workout Buddy, I thought it was a bit of a, who's going to use that? But
you're not going to become one of these, are you? You're not going to become one of those people that starts telling me to go to the gym every 2 minutes now.
I'm doing 10 minutes a day. I'm doing a run. I'm doing a few, I'm going to say it, sit-ups, Stephen Scott. A few and a bit of boxing. It's, you know what?
Don't believe you.
Okay, just saying, try it out.
No, good for you. Good for you. What's caused this? What's
it's because I can. Because I'm feeling better.
Right.
I seem to have the diabetes under control. I don't feel like warmed up death anymore.
Well done.
Thank you.
You are a hero.
I know. Thanks to modern medicine, I'm fine. But
Sorry, if you're watching on YouTube and you wonder what I'm doing, by the way, I have a ridiculous amount of nose hair. What is that about nose hair?
Are you plucking your nose? No, live?
No, I'm not. But
Hello, YouTube.
It's just itchy. It's so itchy. It irritates me. Why is it that I have more hair in my nose than on my head? What is going on?
There are appliances that you can get to deal with that problem.
I have those appliances, and all they do is they encourage the hair to grow faster. Remember when you were growing up, did you ever have your dad say to you, whatever you do, hold off on shaving as long as you possibly can? Because as soon as you start, it accelerates. Yeah,
that's an old wives' tale or an old dad's tale. It's not true at all. No, that's not true.
That's 100%
I'm so glad
true.
I'm blind right now. That's all I'm saying. After that audio description,
everyone who watches this show says that, trust me. Even the people who are sighted say that. I wish I was blind because I can't watch these idiots.
Before you interrupted me with your nose hair stories,
yes,
I was going to say, work buddy, you do need your iPhone with you. You can't just have your Apple Watch on, which I found out to my annoyance. I had to go and get my iPhone. You need your iPhone and your Apple Watch, and you need some sort of headphones. It doesn't just shout it out of your watch. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I've got a Series 7. It works with that. Sarah's Series 6. It didn't work with. But I don't know if that's because she has an iPhone 14. I'm not sure.
Oh, for goodness sake, get rid of all this stuff. Come on, what are you doing? Get it in the Apple Store. Get it traded in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll join you, shall I? Have you got your iPhone 17 yet?
Excuse me, I have got my wheelbarrow ready to go to the Apple Store with Apple products. It's funny, because people have been saying to me over the weekend, so what did you pre-order? Did you pre-order like all the phones to try? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are these people who can just afford to go out and buy every single iPhone out there and then put it on a credit card? And I don't understand this. It's like, what am I missing here? What are these credit cards that seem to give you unlimited wealth overnight?
Well, you've got yours maxed out on all the computers you've bought. That's why.
Cheap computers. Cheap. I've spent less on 2 computers in the last year than I've spent on one iPhone 16e.
That's true. Well, you are going to trade in a few items, but do you know what you're going to go for yet?
I don't. I mean, look, in my head, I want an iPhone 17. I've been toying around the whole 16e thing, but I think it would be silly, to go for the 16e when the 17 price is so close. I think... Is
it close?
Well, it's within... if you're going for the 256 gig, if I'm buying it here in the UK, it's £650 on Amazon, which isn't too bad, actually. It's £700 directly from Apple. Mm-hmm. So obviously, if I'm doing it through the trade-in, as I am, then I'll be paying Apple's price. So... £700 for the phone, and it's £800 for the 256 gig version of the iPhone 17. So it's really not, it's £100 difference. And I think for that £100, you're getting the MagSafe, you're getting the better camera, better battery life. You're getting a lot of betters in there that make it worth the extra 100. So, yeah, I think
well justified, sir. Well done.
That's my argument.
Yourself.
Well, look, I'm doing it all through trade-in, right? So it's great. I can basically, it's free money. Just don't tell Apple this. But yeah, it's great. Well, it is
kind of free money.
Well, it's kind of free. I spent an absolute fortune. I'm getting minimal amounts back. It's probably daylight robbery in some ways, but whatever. I get what I want out of it, and I'm happy. So, looking at the iPhone 17, I want to get hands on with the Air. All I've read over the weekend are people who seem to be determined to bend this thing in half. And can't seem to achieve it and seem very disappointed by that. So, okay, that's good. I don't care about that personally. I do care about battery life, though. And it seems that, although I always say to people, look, as much as the Pro and the Pro Max are great phones, I just think they're a bit too high up the cost chain for me. I think it's just too much. And I think, I don't know if I need my microphone has just...
What's happening with you today?
My microphone, bye-bye. It's just gone. It's just flying up into the air. It's just literally, this is like some kind of miracle happening in front of us right now. It's just gone. Bye. Bye-bye then. Okay.
See you, Stephen. Well, that was Stephen Scott there.
Hello? What on earth is going on with you today?
This is ridiculous. I can't work in... This is intolerable, Stephen Scott.
Can I remind you of you in the gym? Can I just remind you of this moment?
No, please don't. Okay.
I don't know what happened there. This is one of these spring arms on this microphone, and it clearly is a little bit too springy.
Someone's been rearranging over the weekend.
No, I haven't touched it. It's just been sitting there.
Okay. Well, while we're talking about Apple, we should mention AppleViz, who did put out an urgent alert saying...
Breaking news.
Breaking news from AppleViz here. Please do not update to iOS 26. Now, I saw this and immediately started panicking because I did it the day before or something like that.
I did it a month before, so yeah.
Yeah. But no, it is important that people do know that they have reports that VoiceOver is disappearing. So after the initial update to iOS 26 and your your phone restarts, there's a chance that VoiceOver will disappear. And the problem is you can't turn it on again. You can't ask Siri. Siri isn't available at that point. You can't triple click the side button because it doesn't seem to work. So there's no way to unlock your phone, enter your PIN code or whatever you need to do. Well, it is always enter your PIN code at that point, isn't it? So you will need sighted assistance to enter your PIN code because VoiceOver has gone. Now, it is important to say that not everyone and the AppleViz editorial team didn't experience this at all. But I did myself see some reports on social media of people saying, my VoiceOver's disappeared after updating. So it does seem to be a thing. And in fact, Apple have said, yep, it is a thing. And we're working on a fix for the next update. So if you're at all worried, as we said before, there's no real rush to update anyway. But AppleViz are recommending, don't do it. So don't do it.
I also read a report at the weekend about Hable One and Hable Easy as well, having some issues when it comes to using iOS 26. It's almost, I hate to say I'm right all the time, but sometimes I think it's important that people maybe listen to what we say here at Double Tap, which is if you've got, a new iOS update coming out, a big update like this, wait a month and update.
Yes.
Like all these people getting in touch saying, no, this one is all terrible. Yeah, I know, because you should have waited a month. If you're worried about it, if it's your main phone, if it's your driver, if you need it for everyday purposes, don't update for at least a month. Now, of course, there are people who need to update, and those are the nerds who will go and update for us, and they will do all the testing and the checking and the thinging and the watting and the crying and the moaning, and that's fine. Because we need those people to do that. But if you're an average consumer like you and I are, why I'm updating to it, I don't know. In fact, in fairness, I didn't update to it on my main phone because I'm not that way inclined. I like to have my phone usable, but I did it on the spare phone, which I had, and that's great. But
I don't know, Stephen
Scott.
But it does. Who are you shouting at here? It does. It's a bit victim blaming, isn't it? Come on now.
I don't believe in that phrase.
I waited to the official release before I updated. I expect it to be okay. And if there is problems like this, I don't think it's people's fault. It's officially released.
I just think be careful, all right? You've got to be careful with this because this software, which like you say, this is a major bug that's come out. I have no doubt it'll be fixed very quickly. Look, I still can't update my Mac Studio, right? Now, for no reason whatsoever, I can understand. But apparently because it has an M3 Ultra chip in it, feel sorry for me. Then I can't.
My heart bleeds.
I can't update to macOS 26. Not the end of the world, of course, but there's a bug in there. Now it's going to be fixed, and that's absolutely fine, and it will be because no one's going to say, no one at Apple's going, it doesn't matter, who cares? Of course, it's going to be fixed, and this will be fixed as well. I have no doubt at all. This will be fixed, it may already be fixed by the time we put this out. But it's just important to hang on at least a couple of weeks. I know the temptation is to jump into it. And look, some people might be in the unfortunate position where they didn't want to update, but the phone just did it anyway. And that's another thing you have to think about. I'm assuming that's with the automatic updates. It will, it will at least alert you to the fact that it might update.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree with you to a point. I've just seen people being almost attacked and sort of pointed at and laughed at. Well, why did you update now? What do you expect? Why did you? Well, I don't think, during the beta cycle, I think everyone you take it at your own risk. But when it's officially released and something goes wrong, sorry, that's not their.
I just think, what history tells us. History tells us the answer to this every single time. Yes, so we have this discussion every single year.
I get it, Stephen.
It comes out. I say wait a month, and everyone says I've updated. It doesn't work. Yeah, I know because I told you 5 years in a row. No one listens.
All right. Okay. Apple's fault.
It is Apple's fault. Of course, it's Apple's fault, right? These
things
are going out.
What are you shouting at the person who updated for them?
Because I told them to wait.
Oh, well, and they should listen to Stephen.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. 100% listen to everything I say.
Please don't update yet. Hold off.
So now you're saying it. So now they'll listen to you, right? Okay.
I'm not shouting at them. I'm giving them the option. I'm letting them know of the risk.
Speaking loudly.
Let's talk about Meta.
I think I've realised why this microphone keeps bouncing up. It's because I keep hitting the desk and it's frightened. The poor microphone's terrified.
Even the mic's running away from you.
Okay. Do you know, I think I can't really do this any longer because I've been sitting here with this package on the desk. I need to be careful to show you my address. Because someone might send me something or turn up. That'd be even worse. Like you. Okay, so I can't wait. I have to open it and see what it is.
What are you doing?
I'm opening the package. So what have we got here? Oh, do you know what I've got? Right, I got the... So, this is dangerous doing live unboxing of Amazon packages on the show.
Yes.
What I bought here was liners for my air fryer. Right, so the air fryer, when you put stuff in, gets dirty and you've got to clean it. Don't bother cleaning it. Just get these bits of paper you put inside the air fryer, and then you can just chuck them out straight away.
Great. Is it accessible?
Well, the paper is.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, thanks for that review.
Hang on, it's not the only thing in there. The other thing that actually what I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see it, to be honest.
Tin foil.
I don't know if there's any pictures on this or not, but anyway, basically it's a box, and inside this box is a little case for something that I'm going to buy.
Okay. Wow, it's such a cliffhanger. Okay. Woo, what are you buying, Stephen Scott?
You remember the days I used to walk in here and say, I've just bought a braille display. Nowadays, I've bought a case for a thing I haven't bought yet.
A case for a keyboard.
No, it's not a case for a keyboard. It's a tiny little handheld thing. I'm not going to open it all up. But basically, it is a case for AirPods.
Hang on. The new AirPods?
Yeah, I'm going to buy the new AirPods Pro 3. That's something I really want them. Hearing a lot of good things about them, and really keen to get ears on with those.
Why do you need a case for them?
Sorry, you know, I'll tell you why. Right? Because I find those cases extremely irritating to open up. I find they just never. My hands just can't seem to open them. They're too soft, too shiny, too whatever. So I open it up and it's all. I don't like it. So for that reason, I put a case on it. Problem solved. Gives it a grip. Gives it more grip.
Well, you mean you can't open that magnetically sealed, highly hinged, easy to open lid?
I can. It's just my hand. As you know, I have issues with my hands.
Please don't mention your essential tremor.
It's essential to me. No, it's not essential to me. That's the. No. Oh, I ruined the joke. Never mind.
I made a terrible faux pas there, haven't I? Of course, because of your disability.
You victim blamed me.
I did. I'm so sorry, Stephen Scott. So how much
class? What is that? That's strange.
No, you've actually made it more difficult to open.
Yeah. It's a strange. So it's kind of a ridged case, basically, that you can put round them. It's to protect the AirPods case from what I don't know. But, the idea is
it's because it sits in your pocket with your keys and change and whatever else, so they do get scratched
They always
up.
fall at my hand as well. Always fall at my hand. And that's the problem. And, of course, as you well know, when they fall on the floor, they're
gone.
They are out of there. They're like guinea pigs out of a cage. Is that right? That thing?
Yeah, probably.
Let's go with it.
I'm glad you're going for those. I'm tempted by them as well. And even though that was it, the translation feature is coming to the previous version, the AirPod Pro 2s, it's kind of thought, that kind of takes away some of the justification for buying a new pair. But you're right. The reviews, people have been raving about them.
It's because
the size,
exactly. It's the new size. It's the new ear fit tips that they have.
Yep.
I'm really, really intrigued by that. So, you asked me about 3 months ago what I might buy. iPhone 17 is in my future. AirPods Pro. I say I'm not going to buy a new watch, but I say this, I think, every single time. I think I probably will buy a new watch, but I just don't know which one. I think it's going to be the Series 11. I think it will be. Battery life is the driver for that one because the battery life has improved. It would appear from the Series 10 to the Series 11. So that's worth it for me.
I must say, I've started wearing my watch again now that I go to the gym regular.
Yeah, you're a gym bunny.
Yeah. But since updating to watchOS 26, which apparently has no problems, I don't know. But since updating to watchOS 26, the watch is so much more responsive. None of that waiting for 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds after I touch the screen for it to actually do something. I just gave up on it, I'll be honest with you. But watchOS 26 really does seem to have... it's breathed new life into my Apple Watch. You can use that one, Tim Cook, if you want. If you want to put me on a keynote event, then you You can have that.
Put you in a keyring. That's what he's going to put you on. Did you see, there was a video at the weekend of a guy. I felt really sorry for this guy. He'd gone out, bought himself an iPhone 17 Pro Max, very happy. Tim Cook's in the store, so he gets a chance to meet him, and he gets a chance to get his phone signed. What does he do? He pulls the phone out of the box. Guess what happens next?
He dropped it.
Phone goes right on the deck. Yep. And Tim Cook's response was, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine, just buy a new one.
Yeah, that's right. Just going to see that guy in there. He'll sort you out with a new phone. It'll be no problem at all.
What is it with people who buy the phone? Didn't that happen a good few generations back? Someone bought it and opened the box to show the interviewer, and it just smashed straight away. It's like, just wait until you get home, like your mum always said.
I hate when you go into the store and they want to set it up for you, and it's like, no. I'll do it on my own.
That's the best bit. I'm Mr. Independent.
That's
I can do it on my own.
Okay, so let's talk about Meta, because there's big news, of course, from Meta, and that is the news that the Ray-Ban display is getting a screen reader. I mean, come on, this is the best news ever, right?
Breaking news.
This is huge news. I could talk about this all day. Huge news.
This is
huge.
I'm slightly annoyed by this news.
Okay, well, let me finish the sentence first.
Okay.
Getting screen reader built in from day one, and low vision features as well. So things I had talked about last week: text size options, color contrast, zoom functionality, so magnification as well as magnification on the images themselves that you take. You can zoom in on those independently. You'll also have overall zoom and magnification built in from day one inside this product. Shaun Preece, what is your concern?
Thank you, Stephen Scott. I'm annoyed because I made a big deal about accessibility being front and center on the other Meta news, right? About assistive technology companies coming to the Meta Ray-Bans. And yet there was no mention of this on the event at all, about the displays having accessibility. And I think this... rightfully, this is massive news. It is huge news, but they didn't mention it at all. That kind of annoyed me. That's the only reason.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm with you 100%. I'm also annoyed at everybody else who never bothered to pick up on the story either. We're the only people talking about this. And I find that really surprising. And I'll tell you what else I find surprising is the reaction from a lot of people, especially in the blind community, who are very quick to dismiss this news because they don't want anything to do with Meta. I'm hearing this more and more. Oh, no, I don't want anything to do with Meta. They just take all my data, they steal it. Now, look, you're absolutely welcome to have that view. You're welcome to have any view you want. But I think, don't dismiss it for everyone else. I think this is good news. And the fact that we're here with a company who have put this in, and I'm with you on this, I think Meta should have been shouting this from the rooftops. This is why I said at the top of the show, is this an iPhone moment? Because this, if I'm honest, as soon as we had the news about these new display glasses, these, of course, are the ones with the neural band to control them, the slightly chunkier glasses. These glasses, they're brand new form factor, brand new style, brand new approach to all of this with computing. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new thing. And it's got accessibility built in on day one. They should have been yelling this from the rooftops.
Absolutely. I still have some questions about this. Like, why until we get hands-on and we know more about the features and functionality of the displays, how useful is a screen reader going to be?
Yeah, I've seen people say that. Yeah, I've seen a few comments on that.
I'm one of those people. What's the use case? Because when you think about it, right, I'm thinking, okay, if I can't make use of the display in front of me, which I'm, no matter how much magnification or zoom, it's not going to be any use to me. So screen reader, that comes into play. Okay, so what am I actually going to do on the display glasses with a screen reader? And the only thing I can think of is text messaging, right? But then, of course, you can send text messages from your standard Meta Ray-Bans, your audio-only glasses, anyway, and it will also read it out to you. So what's the use case here?
Well, again, it comes back to that thing I think of when we talk about privacy. And I don't mean privacy from the AI point of view. I mean privacy from the sense of I'm sitting on a train and, I'm not one of these people who wants to, yell my life out through my smartphone. So, I'll, when I'm sitting with my phone, I have my earbuds in. If I'm texting or I'm doing anything, I've got a little Bluetooth keyboard connected and away I go. And it's great. I wouldn't want to be shouting those messages out. I wouldn't want to be dictating all that out or speaking to the AI all the time. Being able to do this quietly, on my own, being able to, without having to pull my phone out of my pocket. I mean, we were in London last week And, I don't want to pull my phone out in that city because, the amount of people who have their phones stolen is insane, the amount of people who get their phones nicked. And so I don't want that. And so I can keep my phone in my pocket. I can respond to messages. The amount of times I get a message as I'm walking down the street and I think, God, I'd really have to quickly respond to that. And the dictation doesn't pick up properly, or Siri doesn't work properly, or she tries to call someone and I don't even know, yes. on my phone because, it's completely confused. If I can get control of all that, walking down the street, I think that's fantastic. So, I think look, it's interesting you asked the question, what's the point of the screen reader? I feel that's also a question we might have asked back in the days of an iPhone. Well, it's a lovely display, all I'm going to be able to do is what's on the display. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point, right? And of course, even back then, it was very limited as well. So it's the same thing. It's the same moment.
The caveat is, what can the glasses actually do? Because what was demoed...
But I don't think that's the argument you want to have, because I think the problem for me is that it kind of dismisses the big story. It's like, look, the glasses are going to have the ability they have today, and then in 5 years or 2 years, they're going to have even more functionality. The difference and the point is that we're going to be standing there ready to use that functionality. When I watched that event with you, we didn't watch that one together, it was through the night, but when I watched that event, I was thinking, this all sounds amazing. I can't access any of this. I just knew in my head, this is useless to me.
Well,
now I'm thinking, actually, it's not.
On the show, when we were talking about the event, all of us, Carrie, Michael, you, myself, we all dismissed the displays.
Yeah.
I'd love I want to have a look at the Vanguards. I want to look at the new Meta Ray-Bans. The displays, of course, we're not going to bother with. Well, that's changed now, right? There is, actually, let's take a look, because we can have access. And if you're low vision, and you can make use of the magnification, even more reason to take a look at these.
Yeah, look, and again, let's see how that works. I know Carrie Morales, I've been chatting with her over the weekend about this since this news has come out, and she's very excited, but she's a little bit concerned about how much she will be able to see on these glasses, even with text size magnification, even with all that. So, there's going to be a lot of questions there, but I think the fact that it's going to be controlled, the screen reader portion will be controlled by the neural band is brilliant. Of course, there's a lot of questions, and I saw a few interviews over the weekend, none of them mentioning this screen reader, by the way. I'm just baffled by this. It's like, do you understand what you've done, Meta? You've finally done the thing we've kind of wanted companies to do, which is embed accessibility from day one, and you've done it, and you've just told no one. I remember that great documentary by Shelley Brisbane, 36 Seconds That Changed Everything, when VoiceOver was announced. We didn't have that. We didn't even have the 36 seconds moment. Didn't even have that. And I find that strange. I feel, do you know who I feel saddest for? The people who worked on this in the background in the accessibility teams at Meta, who've pushed probably really hard to get this in, and it didn't even get recognition. They'd all those failed demos, and do you think Mark Zuckerberg could have said, you know what we do have in here? The ability for blind people to use this from day one. They'd had a massive uproar from the crowd.
Well, that's the thing for me. It takes, literally just one line, seconds out of the event, and that would have had a huge impact on our community. And
but you know what? Let's move past it, because here's the thing. Unlike before, where we're always catching up with this technology, and I feel we often are, we're at the forefront of it. We can actually, I could buy these now. I could actually go out when these come out. I could go and buy a pair of these, and I might. I don't know. I might be tempted to, just because of this now. The fact that I'm able to use it makes me kind of want to. I know where you're coming from in terms of usefulness of the screen reader, but I'm trying to look past that point, because I feel these features are going to, and apps are going to come along really quickly. And, does that mean that we could control Seeing AI through it? That we're, of course, going to be talking about that with the new news that Seeing AI will be embedded in. Is that going to be controllable through the glasses? There's a lot of question marks there.
There is. And also, it means, is there a standalone OS built into these glasses then? Is the is the screen reader, being powered from the glasses themselves? Is this being powered from the Meta AI app? How is it actually working? There's so many more questions. But you know what? At the end of the day, you are absolutely right. Instead of just dismissing the displays, well, these aren't for us. Well, now we can. We could buy these and take a look.
And look, and we're all right to be hesitant, okay? We've got to try this stuff. How good will it be? How useful will it be? There's lots of questions. But I am hopeful. I'm more hopeful today than I ever was. And it's just interesting to me how I see all the people who would jump up and down in a company, like they would be, getting lawyers involved now if they hadn't done this, if there was no accessibility built in, are absolutely silent when it comes to this news. We're the only people talking about it. Why is that? Literally, Google it. You're only going to find us. No one else is talking about this. They might after this show. Great. Please go spread the word. But really, we're the only people excited about this? Am I the only person on the planet that's found this interesting? I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we'll take a short
news.
break. We're going to come back in a sec. We're going to be joined by a very special guest. Stick around. And if you want to get involved with the show, tell us your thoughts on all this. Here's how.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback@doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Now, we've been talking quite a lot about Meta here on the show and the Meta Connect event, which has really excited me for lots of different reasons. And, we were talking earlier about the story of the screen reader and how no one else is talking about this. One story, though, that people are talking about is the wearable device access kit from Meta that was teased during the developer sessions. And someone who's going to help us understand all of this, and one of their first partners to this, is Microsoft's very own Saqib Shaikh, who joins us, someone who we all know as being the founder and lead of Seeing AI, one of the best apps on the planet. Yeah, I'm just saying that. There you
We are
go.
not worthy.
It's wonderful to have you here on Double Tap, Saqib. How are you, sir?
I am very well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, listen, I'm so glad to have you to talk about this. Your name is well known in the community for Seeing AI, but tell us about the partnership that you seem to be developing here between Microsoft and Meta.
Yeah, this is really exciting, and it's been several months in the making. But as you said, Meta is opening up their glasses platform for the Meta Ray-Bans and the Oakley glasses they have as well, so that other apps like Seeing AI and just a handful at launch will be able to connect to the glasses. And that means that we will be able to use Seeing AI through the camera that's on your Meta Ray-Bans, for example.
And I'm so excited as well. This is amazing news. When we're talking about, so Seeing AI is coming to the Meta glasses range, right? That's the headline here, yes?
Yes.
Now, is it the whole of Seeing AI, or is it specifically, just short text, maybe OCR document scanning? What are we talking here? How functional is it going to be?
Again, we're still figuring out technical details. I don't want to overpromise what it will look like when we launch, but I get a bigger picture. Like, been working on Seeing AI for 10 years now, which is crazy. I feel old. But what really excites me is 10 years ago, I had a pair of sunglasses with a camera on, which would tell you what's around you. And of course, the AI's got much better, but that was always I had those glasses in my hand 10 years ago, but hardware is hard, and making something real is sort of taken till now, that we now have this elegant and fashionable pair of glasses. And then you can link it to the AI in Seeing AI, whatever exactly that looks like based on the technical capabilities. But it's really, okay, now we're going to have hands-free access to your AI. And for sure, the glasses have some of that built in. But I think across your life as someone who's blind or has low vision, there are just so many situations, so many tasks you're doing where you might need a different type of help to your sort of mainstream AI assistant that we're seeing in the market today. And so that's where I'm going. We're looking at, with this hands-free experience, with these glasses that you can wear for several hours in a row, what are the experiences we can bring? And yeah, it's going to be a lot of the things you know and love in Seeing AI today, but eventually over time, we hope it's going to be brand new things that we don't even know about yet.
Oh, even more intriguing.
That's
now
a
I'm even
big
more
tease,
excited.
isn't it? That's a huge tease.
And how will this work? Will this be just one app again, the main Seeing AI app, or is this a separate app?
It is most likely to be the main Seeing AI app. So the Seeing AI app you already have on your phone, you would somehow say, okay, we're going to connect an accessory, which is the Meta Ray-Bans. And from that point on, again, we're figuring out the details, but then you would hear seeing AI through the glasses, and it would see what is in front of you through the glasses.
Yeah, it seems to me that, obviously the whole thing here is that you've got access to some, amazing hardware here. And, and I have to say, you especially have been at the forefront of all of this, with seeing AI coming along at a time when, we were starting to understand we could have had this conversation around iPhones. We could have had this conversation around Android phones, right? It was what is the potential here? How can a blind person use this? Look, I think all three of us can remember a time when we heard about the iPhone coming out and thought, God, this is never going to work for us. This is just a big slab of glass. How can I use this? And suddenly here we are wearing glasses for blind people. Again, most people might be sitting listening to this thinking, how can glasses help blind people? Well, here's how. Here's how the smart glass revolution is coming and how it can help blind people. It is an incredible time. Do you akin this in any way to the iPhone moment?
I think it is. Like, I've always said that people with disabilities are the driver of innovation. Like, if you can find people out there who would believe that, we need to help people who have this challenge, that challenge. I think they're the other way around. Look, we've been using these technologies, whether it's AI, whether it's, speech recognition, or, whatever it is that's like people are using today. I could give you a dozen or more examples where people with disabilities have been doing it for decades. And this is just another example. If you saw the Meta keynote, again, I don't work for Meta, I can't speak for them, but they seem to have this vision that everyone out there will be wearing these AI glasses. But we as blind people, we want this right now, and we have a whole bunch of things we want to do with it. And so I think that our community are the innovators. We're like on the cutting edge. And so with my team in Seeing AI at Microsoft, I'm always thinking of, okay, we have this community that we work with. Because again, we're not just making this ourselves in our little lab. Really, it's based on the feedback from the community. So what is it that we're going to invent together that is going to help this community with this new AI? And, one day, I do think this will be something that, maybe everyone will be wearing AI glasses. But yeah, I think disability drives innovation in so many ways.
I could not agree more. I think you're so right. And, it sounds like one of those things you would read in a LinkedIn article and you would go, yeah, that's actually quite an interesting thought piece. But you're right that we are at the forefront of this, and often we do drive it. And it can be as simple as a conversation between friends saying, oh, this is great. I mean, how many times have we sat in a room with other blind people and you've said, oh, I've got this great new thing, and you show them it and they go, oh yeah, can it do this? And could it do that? And could it do this as well? And suddenly you start to apply all the potential things that this could do in your life. And, up until now, and I'm going to be honest with you, Saqib, I don't know how regular you get a chance to listen to this show, if at all, but,
Every day, of course.
Sean's been down a little bit. Sean's been down a little bit on AI in the past. And Sean, I'd like you to speak to Saqib here and explain your thoughts on AI.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for that, Steve.
Straight under the bus.
Very, very nice of you. To the creator of Seeing AI. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I have been, because I've been talking about our use cases, our needs, our wants, right? And everyone's looking for the smart glasses that when you're walking down the street will say, hey, hang on, there's a car parked on the sidewalk in front of you, or there's something in front of you, stop, And I'm saying that I don't think AI is there yet. I think the general nature of AI, the model, the data set that it's been trained on is so wide, so massive, that actually, never mind the processing power needed for that sort of ongoing 24/7 live AI processing, video processing. I just think AI just isn't that useful to us in that respect yet. But when you talk something about seeing AI, the short text, the find an object and things like that, where it's more focused, it's incredibly useful. So I'm just saying, I'm not sure how right now the AI, general AI, and I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT. for example, on the Meta Ray-Bans, the biggest boon to me is the video calls, getting assistance through video calls, not so much the AI. It depends what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to identify, my partner, for example, walks around the garden and asking, what's this plant and describe it to me. She loves that. But when I'm walking down the street, I want to know, where's the door to this place, and it gets left and right mixed up, or it doesn't tell me about that car 2 steps in front of me. I think it's not quite there yet. Is that a valid point or not? Feel free to say no.
I totally agree with you. I actually 100% in agreement. Because if you just think about this, there's the mainstream AI, and we're going to connect it to a pair of glasses. That's one thing, and it's very good and useful and very powerful, like you say, in the plant situation.
Yeah.
But I think of this in a different way, where it's what is the problems that people face? Problems are negative. What are things that could be smoother?
Yeah.
And how are we going to solve for that? Because it's got to be this partnership between human and AI. There's no point in AI just doing its, hey, look at me, I'm so clever thing. It's no, how is AI going to help the humans? And ultimately it's tools. I know some people are thinking about these AIs as your best buddy, but at the end of the day, how do we use AI, the technology, to smooth our life and to be that awesome tool? And that's what we've always done with Seeing AI. And I think, with this hands-free experiences, we're now looking at how do you enable people to do those things when you're walking down the street, when you're trying to navigate a place or find someone, or whatever the scenario is. Everyone's life is completely different. So, yeah, that's our focus, is what are the things we can make smoother by using AI, which doesn't just mean this very generic AI that is super cool. I got to say, I'm very excited.
Oh, yeah.
But it's about solving real world problems.
But I think the problem we have, and Sean picks up on this, and I think he says it quite eloquently for Sean.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the only thing you've ever gotten right, I think. But I think it's a fair point that, the general AIs, they're not built for us. And there's question marks around how much information around disability is even in there. And there's still a lot of work to do, despite the amount of information these LLMs have, these large language models have. It can still learn more. But it seems to me that what I read online is that the future is going to be these niche large language models, or smaller, shall we say, large language models, which are better at focused tasks. Would you consider that to be what Seeing AI is in itself?
I think it is in part. Ultimately, what the technology looks like, I'm not going to be able to predict. But, at this moment in time, it looks like, having these small language models, these smaller models, which can respond faster, that know about niche tasks, that seems to be an interesting direction. We might go the other way and actually find that, wow, actually there's some new breakthrough that allows the big models to just be very, very personalized to each and every one of us. Because whether or not you have a disability or a blind, or, I just got personal preferences, at some point you do imagine that these big AIs the bigger models will be highly personalized and adapt to each and every one of us. Because we're all different at the end of the day. The question then becomes, will that be specific enough to each and every one of us that actually then, just works out of the box for everyone? I feel that's a way off, but AI is changing and getting better so much faster. It's hard to know which approach will work. But
I suppose what I'm getting at, though, is that when I think about using Seeing AI, I often think about the tasks I would use it for. So I'm wanting to get that instant text. And, I've been talking to so many people who, as much as they love using services like Be My Eyes or, Ira or Envision AI or whatever it might be, all the other services that are out there, and there are many, many of them, I get a lot of people who say, I love Seeing AI because it's instant. It's there. I don't have to wait around. I can just get the answer. And, for document reading, for lots of different tasks, it's a fantastic tool. And I guess that is in some ways a niche. I don't know if niche is the right word, but it's a small large language model. Although I imagine it probably isn't a small large language model because you've got to identify so much.
Yeah, basically, I think what you're getting at is it's all about the technology getting out of the way. Whatever the technology ends up being, it's how do we get you the information you want as fast as possible in an efficient way. And, if you want to read text, you just want to sometimes just quickly know what's there. You don't want to be thinking about how am I going to use this AI to do that. And across many, many different tasks, that's what we look at is what is the right audio first experience that you can use with your screen reader or large fonts or whatever. And it just works without you having to think or have a certain amount of knowledge. So yeah, it's less about the technology and more about making those experiences, again, in partnership with the community, because you're the ones who tell us, what are the most pressing needs.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've got hands-on with the Meta Ray-Bans already?
Yes, indeed. Again, as someone who's totally blind, the display ones, I did not really, try them out myself, but, definitely loving some of the new things like the longer battery life on the second generation Ray-Bans.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I don't know if you have been, have you been following the story? Of course you've been following the story.
He is the story.
He is the story, exactly. But, the news that's come out about the display having a screen reader built in. Did you know that? Because we had no idea until Saturday morning we got the news, and it was only because someone had surfaced it from an FAQ inside one of the many pages that are online about the actual device. And in there it said how to turn on vision accessibility settings. There's going to be magnification, large text options, and a screen reader built in, which you can control using the neural band on the Ray-Ban display. I mean, it's kind of incredible, isn't it, that it's in there from day one? And I guess as a blind person using these glasses, you're thinking, I don't know if your brain is already ticking up to the idea of, okay, how can we use that in some way?
Yeah, again, I am not at Meta. I cannot speak for their product, but speaking purely as a blind guy, as a user, I think it's amazing. And I love this trend that consumer products are accessible on day one. Of course, I'm a huge advocate and fan of that. So I'm not going to speak to, the product, but it's awesome if, everyone will try it when it comes out.
Just so going back to the wearable display, I'm probably butchering this to some degree with the words, but the SDK, the kit that you have that you are able to connect, essentially the app to the glasses. We're talking here about essentially, how to describe this? I keep thinking of how our audience picks up on these things, because I often try to sort of visualize this in my head in a way to make people understand what on earth we're talking about. Because when you talk about SDKs and all the rest of it, I think most people just fall asleep. Boring. Exactly. So, for that reason, I try to think of it. In essence, are we kind of saying that the camera in the glasses just naturally becomes an extension of what's on your phone? That's really what you're able to do with this SDK, this software package that allows you to connect the app and the glasses? Or does it go further than that?
In the beginning, I think you'll think of it exactly right. The camera in the glasses becomes just like the camera on your iPhone. You don't have to hold up the phone anymore. You can put it back in your pocket. And yeah, that's definitely the key part of what we're looking at right now. And again, that might go further in different directions in the future, but that is a key thing. And it means you keep your hands free, one hand for your cane, one for your groceries, the third one to open the door. And wait a minute. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you never have enough hands. So,
yes. Yeah, never enough hands.
The fourth hand would be holding the phone, I guess, So,
great for blind octopus.
That we have a hands-free camera now.
I understand there's also a possibility of being able to monitor and action on the touch area as well. Play, pause, skip forward and back through the SDK. Is that true?
Again, like the SDK is changing, Seeing AI is still the integration is still in development. So we'll figure out the exact specifics of what that looks like when we launch the product to the public.
You're giving nothing away, are you? That's all. You've been trained.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, again, like you say, all this changes, right? And you're not really in charge of it, right? Because this is coming from Meta. So what they're providing you access to could change potentially, right? And of course, the range of devices is changing all the time as well. I mean, if we were having this conversation 3 weeks ago, we'd be talking about Meta Ray-Ban on its own. But now you've got Ray-Ban Display, which takes it up a gear. And, it's going to be interesting to see how that device potentially opens up the door for your kind of products, people being able to visually see things in their display. There's all kinds of, there's all potential there, right, with all of that stuff. The question is, though, when are we going to see this stuff? When are we actually likely to? I mean, I'm reading mid of 2026, potentially, by the time it's all realized, by the time all this has been nailed down, and then you guys have actually developed the tools that you need to develop for it to link together. Does that sound right to you?
All I can say is that, it's a great partnership between Microsoft and Meta, and, our engineers are hard at work on getting everything working the way we want. And, we'll ship when we are happy with the experience, and, we'll work with some testers and all that, as we always do. So, yeah, when it's ready, it'll be out there.
All right, Stephen, that's you told. When it's
that's all
ready,
we're gonna
just
get.
wait. We're available for testing, by the way. Just let you know.
We'll hook you up with something.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about Seeing AI itself, because of course, we kind of talk about this as if it's a huge, big news story, and let's just forget the amazing work that's just gone on over how many years? I mean, how many years has this been going with the Seeing AI project?
Like, it's been my day job. October 1st will be like my 10 years of working on this full time.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And I'm so appreciative of Microsoft for letting me do that. But I think when did we launch? We launched summer 2017. So, yeah, that's 8 years, I guess.
Wow, that's amazing. And, when you think about, goodness, you think about the strides we've taken in that time, it's incredible. And things have moved on so fast. But one thing you have been, I think, very clear about with what you've been doing with Seeing AI is, absolutely implementing new features into the app. But you're also not continually developing and changing. I mean, you have made changes over the years, of course, but they've been changes that have come for a reason rather than just, here's a shiny new thing, let's just inject it in. Because I imagine all the tools you must have access to with AI within Microsoft, with Copilot, and all of the amazing stuff. It's almost like a toy box in front of you with all these things. And the temptation to just inject all of that into Seeing AI, but you don't do that. You sound like you're very conscious of what the community needs rather than what perhaps people might want or wish for.
Yeah, I kind of think of this, like I have two sets of conversations going on, throughout my week. The one is with the scientists at Microsoft and in academia and elsewhere, and the other is with the blind community. It's like, what are the needs? What is the state of the art that we could leverage? And how do we bring these together with great audio experiences? And, sometimes that means that you let some of the really cool new tech go by until it's going to solve a real human problem in the way that we want. We definitely don't want to be in the situation where it's like, look what we can do, and, flashy thing. But at the same time, it needs to be reliable, needs to be useful. So, yeah, we're very conscious of that. And because then also, if you just put out the cool new toys, then there are many people, who are less tech savvy or whatever, they want to use this and rely on this in their daily lives. So, yeah, we're very conscious of that.
And of course, with Android development continuing as well, I imagine, you tell me, but how kind of on par are those two now? Are you still working to bring those two to equal features across both?
Yes, they're pretty close together, and wherever possible, we do the features on both. There are a couple of things which are less possible on one, so we don't have them exactly the same, but wherever possible. So I know most recent things, we changed the user interface so that some of the new AI features like descriptions and reading are more prominent. And before that, last year we also added the video descriptions. Those things are on both platforms. So wherever possible, we try to keep things on both. So we brings it to everyone.
You mentioned feedback from users. What's the most requested thing? Is it just throw more AI in there? AI is the answer. We all know it.
I think there's two types of feedback. There's actually hands-free support has probably been the biggest request if you look at it over the years. Followed by, sort of niche requests for, will you recognize this or this, which is, part of something important to me in my daily life. But if you look at like across the board, hands-free support probably is one of the biggest requests.
Listen, it's been wonderful having you on the show today. I really appreciate you taking your time out of a busy day to, come on here and talk about this. It's a very exciting time for sure. And of course, it's not all going to happen tomorrow. We have to say that. It's important people realize that. But, it's very interesting to see where we're going and to know that we're on this path. Just very quickly, Saqib, tell us how people can find out more about Seeing AI and feedback to you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity. It's, love the show and it's great to be here always. So please do go download from seeingai.com and you can always get in touch. seeingai@microsoft.com. Thank you.
Saqib Shaikh, thank you so much for joining us on Double Tap today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Amazing guy. And, on our show of all.
Oh, no.
And we've got even more coming up for you on tomorrow's Double Tap from Meta Connect. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.